Hey there, it's Susan Pierce Thompson and welcome to the weekly vlog. So this week, a new round of the Gideon Games starts. So the Gideon Games is a special privilege for Bright Lifers. That's all people who are Brightline Eating members, either core or all access. And you have to have been through the boot camp already. So once you get through the boot camp, you become a Bright Lifer. And yeah, and the Gideon Games is available to you. Now, it's, in brief, it's just a little contest. It's just a fun thing where you get on a team of 10 people. There has to be one leader on the team of 10, and that person just handles the admin stuff, submits the points and everything. And it's a 90-day contest. So for roughly 3 months, you're going to be with this group of 10 people, and you're going to be supporting each other in doing Brightline eating. And the contest part is just that each of the 10 of you are going to log 1 point for a bright day, 0 points for a not bright day. So 10 people, 90 days, you can get 900 total points as a team, and the team with the most points wins. And, you know, it's on the surface, it's supposedly a contest to win, but really what it is it's a ruse for helping people to get to know each other and to provide support and accountability and love and connection. And I created the Gideon Games, I don't know, 4 years ago or something like that. And I did the teams myself, or the games myself, not as a leader, but as a participant for the first, I don't know, couple years. And I haven't done the Gideon Games in about 2.5 years. I don't know why, I just got busy and had enough support and just didn't, right? So then lately, I fell down the Wordle hole. Have you fallen down the Wordle hole? Do you know what this thing is? It's called Wordle. It's just a game. The New York Times bought it, so they own it now. And every day there's a new 5-letter word, and you try to guess the word. Now, that only takes, a minute or something, so that's no hole to fall down. But now there's Wordle and Quordle and Dordle and Sidordle and Octordle and Nerdle, Instant Nerdle, Mini Nerdle. Nerdle is with numbers. So I don't know, it's not Sudoku, but something like that. It's number puzzles. Anyway, and some of them have practice things or archives or whatever where you can just kind of play over and over and over again. So what I found myself doing was sitting by this beautiful window that we have that looks out into nature and just Quordling. Quordle is the one that I really have taken to, which is 4 Wordles at once. Anyway, way too much detail. God bless me. I fell into this rabbit hole of just being on my phone and playing these games. And suddenly, weeks later, it dawned on me, if I have time to do this, I have time to be of more service. I'm not being of enough service. So I decided for the first time ever to lead a Gideon Games team, to be of service. The games were starting. We needed 35 more leaders, meaning we had 350 people who weren't going to get to participate in the Gideon Games unless we had 35 more leaders. And I raised my hand, I signed up, and I am now a Gideon Games team leader. And oh my gosh, I am learning so much from these Gideon Games. So the first thing was just what I just said, that I noticed I had some spare time on my hands, and I realized it would be definitely to my benefit to use some of that spare time to lead the Gideon Games because, frankly, after all that quordling, sitting there in that chair, just playing game after game after game, I felt bleary. I felt junky. I felt just kind of crappy. And the Gideon Games has lit me up on fire. I feel sparkly and alive and connected and needed and, of service in this world. It's a really good thing. So it was an excellent time trade for me in terms of my own flourishing, my own well-being on planet Earth, my own bright journey. So that's the first lesson is, oh my gosh, if you have a little bit of time on your hands, carve it out and be of service in Brightline Eating. Be a guide to somebody. This maintenance course is going. If you're not in a mastermind group to go through the maintenance materials, organize someone. I'm sure there's other people out there who are saying, oh, I'm kind of falling behind. I'm not keeping up with it the way I wish I was. And you could start a mastermind group of people who go through the maintenance materials and do it with people who've fallen a little bit behind because, the course has already started. So number one is just the value of service within Bright Line Eating. So, so, so valuable. Another lesson I learned early on was we're all using an app called Marco Polo as our primary means of communication. And in Marco Polo, you create a little video and you just send it and you get to watch all these people just talking, just sharing about their day or whatever. Well, in short order, after 4 days or something of Marco Poloing, the insecurities started to come out. People started to say, you all are so articulate and I'm the clunky one and you all seem to have it together, like you just press play and just talk so effortlessly. And then other people were like, are you kidding? You're great and I have such a hard time. And it was so interesting, right? This old adage of don't compare your insides to other people's outsides. But so many people shared some version of that, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to be the one to bring down our team and log those zeros and the spreadsheet and, bring us all down. I don't want to be the bad one. And it was a beautiful equalizer to hear everyone share their insecurity. And, the old 12-step food program that sort of taught me the no sugar, no flour thing. They always say that the core of food addiction is fear, doubt, and insecurity. Fear, doubt, and insecurity. And as these fears, doubts, and insecurities started to surface, it just sort of leveled the playing field and brought us all so much closer together. I think a lot of folks were stunned that people who seemed to have it all together would have that level of insecurity. It was really interesting, really interesting. And it's rare, I think, in a social situation to get close enough where those sorts of vulnerabilities actually get shared on a group-wide level. So that was really interesting. The third lesson I got, 1, 2, 3, was just how powerful it is. I've said this to you before, to get the right accountability structure in place, because with this Gideon Games that people started to feel connected to and accountable to, people started to up their game in terms of how bright their lines were. And one person reported shortly after, really, starting to have bright days, having a dream where she debated about drinking alcohol and then ultimately drank some alcohol. This was all a dream, right? And I've shot a vlog on eating dreams, or in this case, drinking dreams. Same, right? Breaking a bright line. And I shared in that vlog how they're actually a good sign. A good sign. A dream like that is a sign that you are taking your bright line journey seriously, and so seriously, in fact, that it's elevated the thought of something, relatively innocuous, like drinking half a glass of alcohol or something. It's elevated that to nightmare status, where you could have a terrible dream about breaking your bright lines, right? That signifies that you now feel uber accountable. And in fact, she does, and she's having bright days, right? So it just reminded me again, the right accountability is key. It's really key. And then finally, someone is in our group who has been at maintenance for years and was kind of doing the maintenance thing where, slipping in a little extra at restaurants, a few bites, licks, and tastes here and there, but, maybe weight is up a tiny bit, but fundamentally maintaining an astronomical weight loss with Bright Line Eating and feeling pretty successful about that. Definitely strong Bright Line identity for sure. But the Gideon Games led her to up her bar in terms of crisp, bright lines, like really bright lines. And she came into Marco Polo and she said, oh my gosh, I feel so free again. It was so worth it to trade those surreptitious little, extras. I thought that I was supporting myself with that extra food, but the reality is that now I feel so supported with clean, bright lines, and I feel so much better. And it's just so interesting, the trade-off between, letting go of those little extra bits of food and getting such a flood of freedom and ease and positivity and hope and self-confidence and self-esteem and integrity as a trade, you know? And she said, you know, there's some grief because it means I'm not going to be sharing food as readily with others when I eat out. And she's like, I love to share food with people. I love it. And she said, but you know, in the balance, I am getting so much more. I sacrifice this little thing and I get a huge tsunami of benefits in return. So yeah, just 4 little lessons from the Gideon Games. I'm so enjoying being with this group of Bright Lifers, and the Gideon Games are available to everyone who's a Brightline Eating member. Once you've been through the boot camp, the Gideon Games come around every 3 months. They start afresh and you get to meet a new crop of people. It is so sweet. So that's the weekly vlog. I'll see you next week.